Hello everybody, I am Keaton, this is Kid Catholic Season 7, Episode 8, and before we get into today's video, I wanted to remind you guys that I actually give talks. So I can give talk at a school, parish, church, event, really anywhere if you want me to come and give a talk. I actually uploaded a video a couple weeks ago of a talk that I gave at an event in Kansas, so if you want to go check that out, see a little bit of what I do, and if you want to reach out to me about coming to speak, then please go to my website, kidcatholic.com, and on there's a contact me page. You can contact me and email me via there, and we can talk about details because I would love to come. So yeah, please reach out to me about that. Also, I wanted to remind you guys to please subscribe. Clicking the red subscribe button really helps support my channel. So if you want to help support my channel, help get my channel recommended, then please subscribe to me and also share this video and channel with your friends and family. Make sure that they know about Kid Catholic. So today's video I'm very excited for. This is another movie review. A movie came out recently, Saint Faustina, Love and Mercy. It's an absolutely incredible movie, and it's not like a super popular one. A couple months ago I did a review on Unplanned, and that was like a little more popular, and got a little more popularity. This one isn't as popular, and so I wanted to make a video about it to really support it because it's really it's really good. It just doesn't have the advertising that some of the other bigger movies do. And not only is this a Christian movie, but this is also a Catholic movie. And it's very, very important that we support the Catholic movies, especially great ones like these that provide so much. But before we get into the review, I wanted to give a spoiler warning, even though I'm not sure if there is a spoiler warning, because basically it's a docudrama. What that means, it's a documentary and a story in one. It cuts back and forth between you'll see the story and then a little person talking as if it were a documentary. So it's it's a mix of both, and it's a true story, so there's not really a lot to spoil, but I mean, I guess a spoiler warning anyway. So the reason I'm talking about it now, it only comes out on 2 days, right? It only comes out October 28th when I saw it, and December 2nd. So, if you haven't seen this movie and you want to, then you're going to have to do it December 2nd, and you're going to want to buy your tickets as soon as possible. And so, yeah, I wanted to review the movie. So, basically, St. Faustina, Love and Mercy, I want to emphasize, is not a movie specifically about St. Faustina's life, right? Yeah, it focuses on St. Faustina's life some, but that's not the main thing going into it, and that's kind of what I was expecting going into the movie, was for it to be a St. Faustina movie. But it isn't really a St. Faustina movie, it's more of a Divine Mercy movie, the Divine Mercy devotion, the Divine Mercy image. And of course, when talking about the Divine Mercy image, the Divine Mercy devotion in general, you have to talk about St. Faustina, so obviously her life story is in there, just not a lot. For example, at the beginning of the movie, basically the directing style, I really like it. It cuts back and forth between the drama, imagine you're sitting there watching a movie, just a normal movie with a storyline, a plot, characters. It goes to that, and then it'll cut to a different thing with someone an archbishop who exists now talking about what happened back then as if it were a documentary. So it cuts back and forth. So in the beginning of the movie, we see about her life story, and I really, really enjoyed that part. I really, really enjoyed this movie as a whole. But this part, it talks about St. Faustina's life. Now, it does skim over a lot of it. For example, in the beginning of the movie, we see her trying to go to the nuns because she wants to join the convent. And then, the very next scene, she's a nun. So, it does skip over a lot because it has a lot to cover in this movie. But just I want to emphasize that, it's not mainly about St. Faustina's life. That's not mainly what the story is about. But my favorite part of the movie is the time when they are painting the Divine Mercy image, all right? St. Faustina has her vision of Jesus coming, right? Doing his hand symbols. She sees, the Divine Mercy image, the one where his hands are like this, right? And then you have white and red, glowing streaks coming from him, right? And it's one represents water, the other represents blood. That Divine Mercy image, that is the Divine Mercy image, and that is actually a vision that St. Faustina saw, and it portrays it so well. There's this one clip in the movie, I can't remember exactly where it was, but I remember it shows the painting, the Divine Mercy image painting, right? And then it fades to a real life Jesus. Obviously it's not Jesus, it's not the real Jesus, they couldn't hire the real Jesus for this movie. But then it fades to a real, you know what I mean, real life Jesus, even again, not real life Jesus. What am I trying to say? Anyway, it looks really, really cool. If you could picture it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so they portrayed that really well. And the painter behind it, he actually has his own little storyline, because St. Faustina wants to get it exactly right? And so the painter, he was like trying to paint it, and we saw how many times he tried. And then like this one time, he worked really hard in a painting in the movie, and Saint Faustina comes up, and we see her, and she's like, well, his face needs to be a little bit slimmer. His eyes need to be looking down. Like, she's so specific about it, right? And he just, like, at one point is just, like, gives up. He's like, you paint it. Someone else paint it, right? But with enough, like, determination, hard work, many, many tries, he gets it painted just how she wants it. And it's exactly what she wanted. So that, like, whole painting sequence was one of my favorite parts of the movie. But you can't talk about this movie without skipping over one of the main characters who I absolutely loved. And they actually emphasized a lot, which I really loved his storyline. And that is Father Sopocko. Basically, we see in the movie that Saint Faustina, and when I say we see in the movie, obviously it happened in real life too, because this is a true story. Saint Faustina had a vision that she was to have a confessor, and he was going to be an absolutely amazing confessor. And she saw a face of a priest, and she didn't know who it was, but it turned out to be his future confessor, and she ran into him, and his name was Father Sopocko. And she ran into him, she met him for the first time, and in the movie it's portrayed like she kind of just told him, like, I had a vision, you were to be my confessor. She said this in the confessional, and of course he has a hard time believing at first, but they build a relationship between each other that's really cool to see, like, their bond throughout the movie. He becomes her main confessor, and basically she has a ton of visions, right? She has like a ton of visions of Jesus, and she's like explaining all of this to him in the confessional, and he's like, you need to write this down. So she begins a diary, and then he goes away on the trip to the Holy Land. And then he comes back, and she says that a voice told her to burn the diary, and so she did. And he's like all upset, like, you burned everything that Jesus just told you when he came down. So that's like really cool to see. They have like scenarios like that. Obviously, I'm not going to go into like every single detail, but that was one of my favorite parts too, is like the relationship with him. And then it kind of ends off with her life, like her like lifetime ends like right in the middle of the movie. It talks about like how she died, how she had tuberculosis, and she ended up dying from that peacefully though. And she even said, we see in the movie that she said that her dying is just the beginning of her mission, right? And she started the Divine Mercy Sisters. It really started after she died, and it was 6 sisters who all came together, and she had a vision that this was going to happen. She had a vision that it was 6 sisters kneeling with no decorations, not even a kneeler. And there's actually like a whole thing with the kneeler in the movie, but I'm not going to spoil that for you because that's really cool also. So yeah, that part was absolutely incredible. It goes into like a lot of detail about what happened after her life, and not only how the Divine Mercy image got spread, because obviously it's the Divine Mercy image. It got spread. It was a huge deal, right? But how the Divine Mercy devotion. What I mean by the Divine Mercy devotion is the Divine Mercy devotion as a whole, like the feast day, the clerk. What's it called? Sisters. What I mean by the Divine Mercy devotion is the Divine Mercy devotion as a whole. Like, not only the image, but the feast day, the Divine Mercy chaplet, right? The sisters, all of that as a whole, how that got started. And they, like, go into detail about who started what and who tried to institute all of this. But really, the one who, like, kicked off the Divine Mercy devotion after St. Faustina's death was Father Sopocko. Because he was there for all of it, right? He was there from the very beginning. He knew all of her visions. And so he really helped get it started. And I don't want to go into too much detail about that. And once you get to that section, it becomes more documentary. Even though, of course, there's still some docudramas in there. Another thing that we get to see in the movie is actual footage of St. John Paul II speaking, which is awesome. And I know that, like, you can probably easily access it, like, on the internet, but it's still, like, really cool to see, especially in that context, when he's talking about St. Faustina. It goes into the canonization of St. Faustina, and there's this even one scene that I love the scene with, where Father Sopocko, he was basically ridiculed by the Catholic Church for, like, trying to get this started, trying to get this whole thing started, and so some of the priests were making fun of him, some of his fellow priests were kind of, like, making fun of him for, like, trying to kick off the Divine Mercy devotion, trying to start a feast day. They thought that it was kind of dumb. So they were laughing at him, and he just goes, you can laugh at me all you want. And I may not live to see it, but she's going to be a saint one day. And that happened. Another thing that I want to talk about. Oh my gosh, how could I forget this? There's this whole other thing with the shroud, right? The Shroud of Turin. Basically what that is it's the cloth that was laid over Jesus in the tomb. I got to see it in the Holy Land. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely awesome. And you can, like, see the face print of Jesus on it. So you can, like, see the exact face shape of Jesus. So when I was in the Holy Land, I got to see the face shape of Jesus on the shroud. It was absolutely incredible. Anyway, get this, all right? the exact dimensions, the exact inches, dimensions, the like alignment from like the chin to the nose and like the length of the nose, all of that from the shroud lines up perfectly with the divine mercy image. Isn't that incredible? And like he didn't have the shroud to look at. This all happened by it was the painter's instinct because he was told to paint this by Saint Faustina, and the dimensions happened to be exactly correct. And it's actually sad because like we learn about the end of the painter's life, and the painter, like, he wasn't Christian when he was painting this, and we don't know if he felt any remorse. But some of his later paintings, some of his later work, portrayed him as Judas, and then he ends up dying in a sad way that I'm not going to get into because there's probably kids watching this. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, it's an awesome movie. It's an absolutely incredible movie. I highly recommend. The only thing is, going into it, you should be aware that this isn't like a movie about Saint Faustina. Obviously, they're going to mention Saint Faustina. Obviously, they're going to get into her life, but that's not the main focus of the movie. The main focus of the movie is the Divine Mercy devotion, and how it came to be in the first place. So as long as you go in expecting that, it's an absolutely incredible movie. I love this movie. I highly recommend you see. Like I said, the only time you can see it is December 2nd, so please get your tickets to go see this movie ASAP because it's very good, and it's very important that we help these Catholic movies, that we help support these Catholic movies because they are very important. Catholic movies you don't see as often. You see Christian movies a lot, and don't get me wrong, Christian movies are absolutely awesome, but Catholic movies you don't see a lot. And so, yeah, please just go help support this movie. Go see it. It's an awesome time, and I learned a lot about the Divine Mercy devotion that I did not know before going into it. So, now that the topic is done, do y'all know what it's time for now? It's time for
the Saint of the Week.
And today's Saint of the Week is, you guessed it, Saint Faustina. Now, I didn't get into her life a lot in the topic, because, of course, I was saving it for Saint of the Week, because Saint of the Week is awesome. So in the beginning of the movie, we see that she is dancing with a man, right? And then she looks out, and she just, like, turns at the camera, and she looks out, and we see Jesus. And we see Jesus with the crown of thorns and blood dripping down. And this is actually her first vision when he tells her to go and become a nun. And so we see that in the movie, and that happened in real life too. And so she went to become a nun. She was from Poland, right? She convinced her parents to let her become a nun. She entered the convent. And then she, again, like I said, saw the image. She saw the image of Jesus with the rays, and like, oh my, it's just awesome. I could emphasize this over and over again. It's just awesome. But something interesting about it is that Father Sopocko actually, the first time they met, when like she was telling him all of this, he thought that she was kind of crazy, and so he was like, you need to go see a psychiatrist and make sure that you're not like mentally ill, because I mean, hearing all of this, like just hearing out of the blue someone who you met for the first time, her telling you that she had a ton of visions of Jesus, like you might want to make he made sure that she was mentally sane, and she was proven sane. And so he continued to listen to her. They painted the image, which for some reason I forgot to mention the painter's name, was painted by Eugene, was his name. And so yeah, he painted the image, and she lived on, and she wanted to make that image. She wanted to get that image out everywhere. And like I said in the topic, she wanted to make sure that that image was exactly perfect, right? She was told to write under it, Jesus, I trust in you. She wanted to make sure that that image was completely perfect, and it was. And so, like I said, she died from tuberculosis. It was a peaceful death, though. She knew that her mission was just beginning. She knew that Father Sopocko was going to continue it, and he did just that, as he helped her cause for canonization. And now, actually, Father Sopocko, his cause for canonization is out right now. He's not like a blessed or anything yet, but his cause for canonization is happening right now, which is absolutely awesome. And so yeah, St. Faustina's story is absolutely awesome. If you want to learn more details about it, then you should definitely go to this movie. I made it sound like it is about her life. Like the first half of the movie is about her life, so it does go into her life. So yeah, if you want to learn more about her, then absolutely go see this movie. Anytime we might have a hard time fully realizing or understanding God's mercy, because that's what this truly is, right? God's mercy. him showing his mercy to us, how he is infinitely merciful, meaning he not only forgives us, but he forgives and forgets, and he doesn't hold a grudge against us if we are truly sorry. Anytime we have a hard time accepting that, or anytime we have a hard time saying sorry or accepting his mercy, we can always pray through Saint Faustina, because she is an incredible saint. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video, please click the red subscribe button down below and the bell next to it, that way you get notified when I come out with a new video. Like I said, please go to my website, kidcatholic.com. There's so many things you can do on there. You can email me, contact me about speaking engagements, right? There's a speaking engagement that I gave up there. My talks are up there. You can buy your very own Kid Catholic t-shirt up there. That's right, you can buy your very own Kid Catholic t-shirt. So please go check that out. Also, check out all 3 of my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The link to all 3 of those will be in the description and in the comments below. Please comment any saint or topic suggestions that you might have. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, remember, buy your tickets December 2nd. That's the last time you can buy, or that's the only time you'll be able to go to this movie, until, of course, it comes out on DVD. It's not like once in a lifetime, but you know what I mean. Anyway, please go check out the movie, because it's absolutely awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all next week, and hi, Brielle.